say Odiyen ebedru the last stage of today's program. Today is Friday. I want to welcome all our viewers and our listeners to this part of the segment of this program. As you know, we have reserved this time to teach. And that is exactly what I'm going to do. Me mamu nyina akwaba eba emre kakra yi aka emma program yi. Ye de asi ho emma awade nkyerɛkyerɛ. Efise ye hu sɛ niema bebre nkɔyie. Na benienti a etesa ene sɛ niema bi wo hɔ yenya ntiase ewom. Enti na ehia sɛ yemfa saa nkyerɛkyerɛ no emre ye. We started, and the last time, that was 2 weeks ago. Last week I was in Bolga, so I was unable to be here. And so the previous 2 weeks, I told you we had finished with courtship. We are not going to go back there. Today we are virtually getting into marriage, and I'm starting from engagement. When do we get engaged? It is when we have become sure of the fact that the two of us are ready to marry. We can marry. We have studied ourselves. We have put all the parameters we shared into consideration. We have watched your character. We have put all this into consideration. And we have now decided that we can marry. So we are going to the next step, that is engagement. At this stage, both partners have agreed to marry and have involved their parents. The man's parents visit the lady's family to declare their intention to marry their daughter for their son. The man's parents present some gifts in keeping with the tradition and culture of that tribal group. In the tradition of the Kasinas of the Upper East region of Ghana, where I come from, the gifts to present on the first visit to declare your intention of marriage include kola nuts, salt, and guinea fowls. This stage is called knocking. Apart from declaring interest in the lady, the initial visit also ensures the door is closed to other men who might be interested in the lady. At this ceremony, some suitors place a ring on the lady's finger as an outward sign that she is engaged. The Bible records that Joseph was engaged to Mary. Luke 1:27. She was engaged to be married to a man named Joseph, a descendant of King David. Similarly, when Abraham's servant was sent to find a wife for Isaac, and he became certain in his heart that Rebekah was the right woman, the Bible said in Genesis 24 and the 22nd verse, he took a gold ring for her nose and 2 large gold bracelets for her wrists. Any lady seen wearing these ornaments on her nose and wrist is engaged. Now we go to marriage. From engagement, we go to marriage. Engagement is engagement. Engagement is not marriage. And yameka ye no eye engagement. Eno na ye friend koko bon. Nipa mienu ya hwe ye ho. Nipa ne dosu ebi e man na omu ye mienu. Mema miensa bi na di machi. Me hwe omu nyina ma hu ni se baako yi na me ne betimi atena. Ma hwe ni subanya sese ya ma ye ma adwene se me ne no ebetena. Ho na kokobo no ehye ase. Enti eto da bi a eja no ankasa na otu nipa ama ya ba fie. Mema no oba ne fie na mede eyi esremfo a na vrongofo amamre na ye mfato ho sesa akokobo no ye de akonfem ene nchene ene kokola not kura your friends abese ena ye de ko enu kire omo se wo de wonsa ato oba yi so enti anka obi kura na ni adi akira ene sese de onhwe baby foforo ena ye ko Bible mu ye hu kwa ya Mary efa so a Joseph eware no ye hu se ono nso de ne nsa to no so saa a enini engagement no Abraham suma se empa yirema Isaac na ko Eliezer hu se Rebecca ni ye ne suba nyina ene oyere pa obepa ma ne no ehwo a ebura ne so oye niam bi a yensan na ho se we no obi de ne nsa ato no so aware kwan so odi ring ehye ne hwene ene opa bracelets ehye ne nsem enti saade no ye wo kokokobo eno a na efre ne engagement. Now marriage engagement initiates the marriage ceremony. After the engagement ceremony, where the man's parents have been assured that the lady is given to them in marriage, they return home to prepare fully for the traditional marriage, which basically involves the full or part payment of the bride price and indirect dowry, depending on the traditional marriage requirements. Some families combine the engagement and the marriage ceremonies. In the case of Rebecca, Abraham's servant came fully prepared to pay her engagement and full bride price. So when Rebecca's father consented to giving her hand in marriage, Abraham's servant, in Genesis 24, verses 53 and then 57, brought out silver and gold jewelry and clothing and presented them to Rebecca. He also gave expensive presents to her brother and mother. Then Rebecca's father asked her, "Are you willing to go with this man?" She replied, "Yes, I will." When the traditional marriage ceremony is over, the couple is declared married and the lady leaves to join her husband to start a new family. This gives the couple the moral right to have sexual intercourse, even if the church wedding has not yet taken place. There is a perception by some Christians that couples who are married traditionally should refrain from sexual intercourse until the marriage is blessed in church. As a result, traditionally married couples are made to feel guilty of sexual sin. This perception is not right. In Africa, the traditional marriage rite is recognized as marriage. It is after this ceremony that the parents of the bride gives her out to her husband for the couple to begin the process of leaving father and mother, living together and becoming one flesh. To solve this problem, couples should involve their pastors in their marriage plans to enable them mainstream the religious into the traditional marriage ceremony. Usually, the traditional marriage ceremony takes place in the bride's family residence. After the traditional ceremony is over, the pastor continues with the religious celebration of the marriage. He will help the couple to exchange their vows and rings, counsel them from the word of God, and pray God's blessings over the marriage. The pastor then takes the opportunity to introduce the new couple to the church when they come to offer their thanksgiving to the Lord on Sunday. This proposal is for those who cannot afford the opulence of church weddings and those who simply want to avoid the crowd. Church members must be made to know the options. It is possible to have your marriage blessed at home, but you will have to register and receive your marriage certificate at the Register General's Department or its affiliates. You can also have your marriage blessed in the church on Saturday when church is not in session, or on Sunday during church service. Discuss your preference with your pastor. The most important items needed for marriage in Africa is the bride price and the dowry. That is the foundation of the marriage. Payment of the bride price and indirect dowry releases the bride to the groom, enabling the process of living and cleaving one flesh to proceed. Other items include refreshment. I will come to that. Niame kanye enese. Midura warie. Midi kanka kokobo. Ebinu wo ho omo ye ne mienu ni nyina kokobo no ene ne ho ade yo no ye ne nyina ebom ebi ye no kokoko no ene na ade yo no ebi ye ne mienu nyina ebom adakoro. There's nothing wrong. Obi wo ho bibi nti no odi kan kobokoko na wanya mere abesiesie no ho ayi tribe bia wonea ohwehwe ente ansa na no di kan ne kofie ne kobusa eno na ya ye se ya kwaje list no list ne ya de kro ewo nia asantefo list city ewo nia sremfo list city ewo nkranfo list city ewo elves list ente be bia wani ekire ye no kona kwaje wo list ente se wo di kan ye kokoko no se ne ya wo benya adaje aboaboa wo hu na wakọ aware a fine ebi wo ho omu de te se Abraham na koa no osuma no onu de oba ne wo hu donkeys no a yoma no na Rebecca ma omu nsuo ne nyina no a na onu de wa ye ready kokoko aware ye wo adie wo wa ye ready obeye ni nyina ebomu enna ya frɛ abusan se wo bekɔ o se ai ma ye krado mu de munja me kwan no enti awade no ene adiyo no kokoko no ehye aware na ase enya awade enti sa wo de kokoko na wabo aka ho a ene wonya nwuram hom so no gise wo wuram no wone ne da eye dwamambo eye bone kokoko bo still enya aware nya abutre no mbe ye wo bibia kama emma wankasa wawofo enja wo kwan kuse ne mpaibo ne anigye emma wokọ eno na misaka ka ho se yetimiti ne asum se wokọ na wakoye bibia kama ma wawofo agya wo kwan se ko ware na wokọ na wo ne be ma no koda nsafo ne bi se hey wabodwaman wo nya dwamambo bia aware no a ye ne fie esi ye no ene ya awade enti okona one abaya no koda one ne yire na daye enye dwamambo ena mese se ne ye asa adwene no a asafo ne bi wo no ebebo asafo manu nti no wo kwa ware ya wo ne wo sofo ndwene mbom eda no a wo kwa no se wo be ye ne fie o aware yetimi ye ne fie ma ne ye yetimi be ye na asori ewo Saturday yetimi be ye no ewo Sunday wonu osofo ntenase kirekiremu asofofo mu kirekiremu kire asofo mano no omu hu ni the various options that they have onim so obetimi aye no wafie ma na ya wade enti osofo di nachi nakọ ye gi ne hu niama ni nyina awia eho a wo betimi abompaye add rings mienu ni nyina hye omu nsem omu agware no oba Sunday ya yini kire asori ya boye nsem sas offering na beto ama na ya to ama omo na asam mfa na asam nko enti esese yenhwe eno na yenka ho asam na ka ho na problems ya ba aware mu no when the traditional marriage is over, okay, I've finished with the perception. To solve this problem, my way, other items include refreshment, dinners, and lunches. These are optional because they do not make up the marriage itself. It is traditional to have a reception after a wedding, but allow your financial strength to dictate the menu and the venue. The Bible gives an account of a wedding in Cana that Jesus attended. We are told they did not have enough wine to serve the guests, and Jesus was asked by his mother to intervene. John 2:1-3. Jesus' intervention saved the couple from a huge embarrassment. The lesson here is for all prospective couples to be prepared adequately before marriage. Don't spend beyond your means. Nia misa kaka ho ne se ye be ya ware se sanse ye kwa wedding sa ye hu ne ye kwaso ni ntino wo be kwa akokuroko ne niema ye duane a ye die nsa ye nom ne ye kwaso ni nyina obi ade atu ne tirim se